Hello everyone and welcome again to ARW Weekly. This week I've brought on Matt, I've brought on Phil and I've brought on Jonathan to have a little chat about a couple of things that are going on with regards to Liverpool. Matt, that Audi Cup wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah, it was good, mate. It's good to see the teams like properly good run out. I think that first team against Bayern was close to what we'll see anyway. And everyone was screaming out for the wank fest, which is Coutinho, Mane, and Salah. So it was lovely to see it, and not just to see it in full flow. Like they were all guns blazing, weren't they? There was no stopping them three, and it just gives me a big hard on for the season. Really, I think we'll see the similar team at Atletico, and yeah, that front five, front six, whatever it is, it's deadly. I mean. I spoke about this earlier in the pods as well. Friendlies don't mean too much to me. I generally like seeing the youngsters play or new players play. But as it's a new strike force, it's good to see it against a very, very good Bayern team. They only had 4 players missing, really, which maybe wouldn't have started. So, yeah, it was superb. I mean, last night as well, it was our second team, really, other than a couple of people like Chan and a couple of others. But yeah, good, love it. I'm all for a bit more competitive cup like that. I was always kind of jealous of the Emirates Cup as well, so to have this going, it was good.
Oh, the Emirates Cup. Oh yeah, is that the one where you win one game and lose a game and win the tournament? And
you get the medal on alphabetical order.
It's done alphabetically, yeah.
Oh, it's unfucking believable.
It's like, you know, at the start of the season when the Premiership table is on alphabetical order. It's like that all over again. They've brought a real version.
It was unreal.
Open top
people were like,
and everything.
Arsenal have won the Emirates Cup with 9 points. I was like, how the fuck did they manage that? But they've literally made it up, and I thought, yeah, fuck it. You know, like if it can keep Arsenal spirits up, fair play, because they're going to need it, in my opinion. Jonathan, you done an off the cuff the other night. It was very good. Yourself, Craig, and Ben. And I'm going to just wash over that so-called final last night because I just thought it was pedestrian, to be perfectly honest with you. It kicked on in the last 15 minutes, but as Matt said, it was the second team. It was very disjointed from both teams. I thought Atletico Madrid were they're awful to watch, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, you get all these lads saying, they're the hipster club and all. They aren't there. Fuck the hipster club. They're awful to watch. And anyone that enjoys watching that needs to fucking get their heads tested. But sorry for the rant. But Jonathan, the first game against Bayern definitely wanted to win it, like you lads said the other night, and we were frightening at times. So I thought we were absolutely frightening. I stood up and applauded one of the breaks that we done, and I was sitting in the sitting room on my own.
Yeah, likewise. I was off my sofa a good few times. There was literally moments there that just made you just go wow, and it's just so exciting for the season. Right from the team sheet, when you see we eventually got to see Mane and Salah start together, and my God, they're going to tear some arseholes for a lot of teams next season. Like, they are absolutely electric. And what really was we touched on the off the cuff, what really was the most pleasing was to see a team of the standard of Bayern Munich in their home stadium resorting to kicking the shit out of us. Really,
yeah.
It was just great. It was just great. So literally a couple of moves there that were like wow. And I think what you see there is kind of going to be the kind of the blueprint for the season to come. We had a nice compact shape to our team at times, and then we can just burn teams in the counter. So I think it's very well set up. I know we'll touch on it later with the Champions League draw, but we're really set up to play against teams in Europe, and a lot of teams in Europe are going to stand up, and there's a couple of teams that are going to get destroyed by us. I've no doubt that they mightn't be aware of our tactics or whatever, because if you have a high line defence like Munich had, we're just going to burn you on the pace. We can play you pretty much any way you want now. So it's so exciting, and I literally cannot wait for the season to start.
Yeah, no, it was really good. There was a couple of things from the game that I spotted, and it was Liverpool early on sat deep and just let Bayern have it to see what they were about. We then decided to bully Frank Ribery for 45 minutes and let Trent kick him up and down, which I loved. And then we decided to push up the field a little bit and grab hold of them. and I think it was about 6 or 7 minutes in, we just intercepted the ball, and it was it was a blow. It really was, and it was 1-0. There was a breakdown afterwards. There was a breakdown afterwards where I think we had her in the left back position, and within 3 passes, Moreno was crossing it for Salah, forcing a good save from the keeper,
which was a good ball as well.
It was an amazing ball, but the thing was, if you watched in the stages of the game, we sat and watched them. After 5 minutes, we decided, no, we can have this, and every single time we got on the ball going forward, we annihilated them. But the most pleasing thing for me, though, was the second half, when Bayern actually thought, we can't go forward here, we have to sit back and try it. Them on the break, and Liverpool were brilliant. Interplay around the box. Coutinho was instrumental. He was moving everywhere. We could have opened up 4 or 5 times. But Phil, what did you make of the game? And more importantly, why did we sign Andrew Robertson when Moreno was clearly the best left back in Europe?
Yeah, well, he's only been the best left back in Europe for about 2 days, hasn't he? But no, do you know what? I was really impressed with him yesterday. Day before yesterday, he had a cracking game. And some of the crosses he pulled off as well were brilliant. My problem with Moreno has always been him getting back, and I think that still hangs over him. And he's been having a few good shots, though. Actually, I did notice that he's not afraid to have a shot, is he?
That free kick, I won't lie, sorry to put in there.
From Moreno, yeah.
Yeah, I was shouting at the TV, it was like, fuck off, Moreno, let Coutinho have it. And then he whips it.
And it was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was like, wow.
I still found myself shouting at the TV a bit. I mean, I like what Moreno could have been. I know he's got massive flaws in his game. Going forward was never that. But like defending, I was watching him, and you do see him get dragged around. And even when we're attacking, he kind of just sits there. And I don't rate Milner at all, but I know he'll be running to get. He won't be running very fast, but he'll be running to get back. I don't know. Moreno needs someone kind of to tell him where to go on the pitch a bit. Maybe
Moreno
just
would have been amazing.
Teach him on the pitch.
Lined up alongside Carragher. Carragher would have.
Van Dijk would be perfect for it. I mean, I get annoyed with people giving him shit because he could have been a very, very good player, and I hope maybe he does get a bit of a chance and we see that. But I do know he has also got massive flaws in his game. Quick one on the Audi Cup as well. I'm not putting a negative on it, but we've always kind of done good, especially last season, against the teams that attack us like Bayern and Man City and teams like that. Maybe it would have been better for us to see where we are against an Atletico, who are probably the best sitting deep, defending tight team in the world. Maybe, yeah, it is. But I'd like to see how Coutinho, Mane, Salah, Firmino, and the others break down that defence, because that's going to be our problem this season. It's not going to be the Man Cities.
I think with them 4 or 5 players on the pitch last night, if we'd had them on last night, say we're playing them 3 or 4 days later, I think we would have opened them up as well.
Well, we got a flavour of that in the second half of the Bayern game, as you said, Gavin. So they did sit back, and we were picking them off, and I think that for me was quite exciting, because you're absolutely right, mate. It's last season was so frustrating, wasn't it? Because we were kind of resorting to Emre Can. I know he's got a couple of goals, but Can kind of having pop shots from 30 yards out because we can't get anywhere near the box. And it just got frustrating. We keep possession. We'd smack it into the top of the cup, and then we'd go again.
But even though Bayern did sit back, they were still trying to play out from the back, which plays into our strikers' hands perfectly. Yeah. I'd say, I mean, not down, and we beat fucking Bayern Munich. It was superb, but I would have liked to see, without speculating, like Gav said, we would have beat them. I'd like to actually see it and how we are going to break these teams down, because that's got to be a massive part of Jurgen Klopp's pre-season. It's it was our biggest flaw, really, wasn't it?
I think watching that game last night, even with the players coming on, the like of Origi, Grujic come on. I can't remember who come on and off. There was that many changes to the starting 11 and then the subs. But I think if you watched it last night, Liverpool kind of controlled that game again last night. But if you put them, as I'm going to say it as it is, them better players in them positions, I think just a movement off the ball, I think it caused more problems to Atletico. But look, it was a good walkout. The players look fit. I think they were doing double sessions and then actually playing a match. So if they're ready to go, hopefully.
You had the moment as well that summed up Daniel Sturridge's career perfectly. Just a 20-second clip of him hitting on the break, him chipping it over the top, stunning goal, and then he gets injured. I mean, I know he said he's fine now, but I think every Liverpool fan was chuffed that he scored, and then instantly saw him grimacing and just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
It was devastating for a little bit, wasn't it?
I seen a guy on Twitter, and I don't know his name, so I have to apologise. But he turned around and said, "Daniel Sturridge." It was something along the lines of we're all speculating on Daniel Sturridge. It could be 4 weeks for a quad muscle. He's come out and said he's fine. We won't see him till Christmas.
That's good.
He said it was fatigue, and you have to go with him because all the signs over pre-season is like, as someone else made a point. When's the last time Daniel Sturridge had a full pre-season? And he's had a full pre-season, and he's been available to Liverpool since January, whether people like it or not. He just wasn't chosen.
Another good point on Sturridge, because there's muscle injuries and the type of player he is. I saw on Twitter, I can't remember who it was by, it was telling him not to bring him off the bench. Either start him or don't. Because coming off the bench, he doesn't get the warm-up he needs. Whereas obviously you get the 15, 20-minute warm-up before a game, which gives his muscles the, obviously everything he needs, so he's less likely of pulling them.
Yeah, no, it is a fair point. The way I look at it is, you don't bring him on as a sub because that's one substitution used, and if he breaks down in a game because he hasn't had his warm up, that's a second sub use. And if you use your 3 subs, you're down to 10 men. But look, what can you do? He's looking good. At the end of the day, no matter what people say, Daniel Sturridge has been fit for the last 7 months. So people can talk about his injury record and stuff. It was just a case of team selection, I think, from about January onwards. And I've heard a few people saying that. So, but look, no, I really enjoyed the Audi Cup. It made a hell of a lot more sense than the fucking Emirates Cup. Because if you win, you go through. And if you don't win, you don't go through. It's as simple as that. But look, Wenger's obviously done that on the bleeding slide so he can back up the FA Cup win. And the Wenger out people can piss off another week anyway. About half an hour into the opening day of the season when they're 2-0 down, they'll all be back in abundance. But Jonathan, we're talking about Coutinho, we're talking about Neymar, who's just been confirmed to Barcelona for about 4 billion quid and, I don't know, a load of gold. And we're talking about Van Dijk. Does this all kick off a merry-go-round now? That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking that tonight. Does this kick off a merry-go-round? You know the way one transfer usually kicks it all off and then it's absolute bedlam now for about 3 or 4 weeks? Or are teams still kind of, sitting, waiting, watching? A bit like Spurs, because Spurs are signing nobody. Do you think it's going to go mental now? Is this the kick-off of it all?
Well, if you look back at history, this is it's the usual kick-off domino effect, isn't it now?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Barca are going to have to sign a fairly big money replacement. That club then is going to need another replacement, and the food chain just goes down and down. What those moves are, it's very hard to know. Obviously, the Coutinho rumours are going to go in absolute, just go bananas now the next while.
Now, can I just stop you there before you say anything about Coutinho, right? Jurgen Klopp has said,
I was about to
categorically, he has said, he is not for sale. You do not need to translate this. You do not need to do anything else. The player is not for sale. He's happy. End of story. Do you think, for any money, FSG will A, cause absolute carnage with the supporters, or B, make their manager that they are so committed to look like a fool?
Yeah, but hang on. History will tell it for itself with that one, if you think about it. Give me an example where FSG haven't sold our best player.
Yeah, but hold on. What I'm saying to you is, this is a huge summer for FSG on so many levels, right? And we've all said it. If I hear the word fucking war chest or whatever the fuck they're calling it again.
200 million.
Yeah, it's 200 million, and I don't know what else they fucking have in there.
Is that net spend 200 million, Gav?
No, that's after we sold Coutinho.
Fuck net spend.
But you see, the thing is, right, Jonathan, no, Jonathan, listen to me, right? Because I'm pinning all of this on you, right?
We're listening. Okay? Just make your point.
I'm trying to make my point, right? But Phil keeps interrupting. He's going to the ball corner now in a minute if he keeps it up. But what I'm saying to you is, do you think they will sell that player to get a backlash off these fans that are already gunning for them because of Keita and Van Dijk and stuff? And do you think they will overrule what a manager has clearly said? He said it in plain English for everyone to hear.
Look, the reality is talk is cheap. Klopp isn't going to come out and say, oh, maybe he is for sale, maybe he's not. As much as it pains me and as much as I really don't want it to happen, I think the reality is if Coutinho says he turns up to training or wherever that might be and says, look, lads, I want to go to Barcelona, there's very little, and history has shown that there's very little that the club will be able to do. Look, business point of view, I'd say that John Henry's getting hard. Just like we are getting hard watching Mane and Salah and Coutinho whipping balls through to him. When they look at that little kid they signed from Inter Milan from, was it 8.5 million at the time?
8.5 million.
Yeah.
To now possibly getting, look, we will say in excess of 100 million. After a couple of years, like that is Moneyball. That I don't care what business you are in. If you can buy an asset at that price, get a couple of years use out of it, and then sell on for that, like it makes perfect sense. From a football point of view, it would make no sense whatsoever. The money in the war chest or whatever would be no use to us. Very little time in the window left to get a replacement, and there isn't really a lot of similar players. That's the worrying thing. You look around Europe, you look around worldwide. There's not many players. Can you you'll name a few players, but you're not going to get many that are proven at that level.
And Glenn Whelan has gone to Villa, so you can rule him out.
Neymar's gone now.
Keith Andrews is retired as well. Would you try and angle Suarez back in the day like someone?
No. You see this is where I see this. No, you might, but this is where I see with this, right? It's not about who you bring in. It's the fact that you're willing to sell your biggest player, right? Exactly. Now, this is the way Liverpool should look at this. I'm going to let you in now, Matt, because your arms are flailing all over the place.
I'm fucking engineer, lad.
You're in. I know you are.
All you've done is talk, and you're the fucking host.
I know, yeah, but listen, I want to see what you think of this, right? This is what I think. You go to Coutinho and you say, look, you're happy here, whatever. And you do what United done with Ronaldo in 08, and you say, look, give us 1 year, okay? We will sell you for whatever we can sell you next year, because he's going to end up at Barcelona. Anyone that thinks he isn't, I think they're a bit mental, but I think you should. Matt, would you agree? You go to him and you say, look, we've set a price for next year. You give us 1 more year. We have a plan. Next year, there's the price you can go. End of story.
Absolutely. That's what I think has happened. Just to add on to that as well, you got to remember it's a World Cup year. So if he kicks up a fuss and says he doesn't want to play, well, fuck him. He's going to play because it's World Cup year. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's coming out and saying all the right things anyway, isn't he? He's saying he wants to stay, he loves it here. He's got his mate Bobby, and I think they keep him Moreno on just to fucking keep him happy as well.
They even fooled Moreno to play well there last week. Look, go on, lad. You play there.
Brad Jones is a good friend of his as well. I think we're taking him on loan.
It's true. If it's going to happen, it's next year, I reckon. Barcelona as well. If they're going to get him this year, they need to lob stupid at it, like 135, 140. That'll get us thinking a little bit. If they wait till next year, they'll get him from 90. They'll get him from 90 to 100 if they wait till next year, maybe even less, depending on what we've promised him. And that's what happened with Suarez in the end. That's why he went for 75. We got another year out of him, and we lost a bit of money. What it also does, because it's coming quite late in the window, it gives us a year to prepare to work up Ben Woodburn to take over that position. Now it gives us a year to know he's going, find a replacement. And you look at people like Xabi Alonso and Suarez, when they do know they're going that next year, they tend to put in a better season. I don't know why. I have no.
It's probably for risk of losing the MILF. It's probably for risk of losing the MILF.
I have no theory behind this. That's a good point. But they do. Suarez's last season when he knew he was going was fucking unbelievable. Xabi Alonso, he had 2 okay seasons. Like, he was pretty good, but he had 2 mediocre seasons for the level he usually achieves. And the season before he went, he was absolutely fucking awesome. And then we were crying because he left. So I think if he is going to go, we've got a season to either do very well, get far in the Champions League, fucking win the league, do anything we can to keep hold of him and convince him this is his home, and he'll get a statue and he'll become a fucking legend here. Or if not, we let him go next season. We've got a plan in place where we can make bids for people and get rejected.
Well, if he does stay, I hope he stays. I think he will. I'm in agreement with Matt. I think it's a 1 more year thing, and we'll see how it goes. But if we win the league and we win the European Cup and all that sort of stuff, I'm going to fly a plane over Anfield, and it's just going to have "Please don't go" on it, and that's it. That's
with a picture of Moreno on the back.
A picture of Moreno on the back,
on his fucking hoverboard. In fact, it's a floating Moreno just hoverboarding across the sky.
No, Moreno's flying the plane.
Yes.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. Well, Phil, the lads
we took off from.
I think the lads and myself are in agreement that it shouldn't happen this summer. Some are thinking football reasons. I'm thinking FSG would be absolutely. They're signing their own bleeding debt warrant if they do it, regardless of who they bring in. What do you think about it?
Do you know what? When I heard what Klopp said twice, probably because I'm a little bit cynical because of what I do for a job, but I work a little bit within PR. So the first thing that I thought when that happened was, is he saying that because he's spoken to the owners and he's got full confidence that he's going nowhere? Or is he saying that to apply pressure to the owners so he can't go anywhere because he's just said publicly he's not going anywhere? And that was part of me, because I mean, if I was the manager and there was a slight possibility that he was going to be off and they were going to sell my best player, and yes, I could have an opinion on it, but ultimately they make the decision, I'd be wanting to make public noises as well to make that as difficult as possible for them to do. Maybe that's just me being really cynical, but part of me wondered whether that was Klopp being very, very clever.
Yeah, you have a fair point. Maybe it was towards the player as well. But look, I think overall this Neymar stuff is absolute fucking madness. You know, we've gone from, I think was it Gareth Bale was the most expensive player in the world till today? Am I wrong?
Pogba. No, yeah, it was, wasn't he?
Was it Pogba? Pogba
would have been Pogba. Had to be.
Did he take it? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we've gone from 89 million-ish to 222 or 198 million. It's fucking unreal.
Have you seen how fucking fraudulent the transfer is and all? Everything that's gone on, how it's been paid.
Yeah, I've read stuff about the Qatar government paying it.
Yeah, so what it is,
basically, PSG are getting them for free, and they're just going to pay him this massive amount of money, something in the region of 40 million without tax. But you'll always get them breakdowns. But it's not even that. It's just forget money. I can't get my head around the fact that the chap is leaving Barcelona for PSG. And nothing against PSG, but
I understand it.
La Liga, the French league. It's money. It's money, and that's it. And he's going there to be the main man, you know.
He pushed for the move, because he's not the main man. He got put, I think it was left wing back at one point last season, and it's just all messy. Everything is messy, and Suarez to an extent as well. Yeah, and he's kind of been pushed out a little bit, and that's why he pushed for the move. And then the money came in, and he was like, "Fucking cha-ching."
Yeah, but
I'll have a bit of that.
You might think if Neymar hangs on a year or two, he does become the main man at Barcelona for years to come. Because Messi can't last forever. And I don't think Suarez can last. Suarez must be 29-ish now, is he?
But halfway through the season, he might have had his nose put out. And you know what people are like. I mean, I'm stubborn anyway, do you know what I mean?
Well, he stormed out of training recently, didn't he? So there's obviously stuff going on. I mean, I know that was in the middle of the negotiations and stuff.
He was just copying Kaiser, wasn't
he?
It's been going on a while, but I saw.
But I'd love him to kick fucking Suarez. Suarez will slap the bleeding head off.
Listen, host, you're talking over us here. Let us talk.
Yeah, I was just about to say before I was rudely interrupted by the host there.
You carry on, Jonathan, mate.
I read an article during the week there. Now I'm not sure, it could be a bit of a conspiracy theory, but they said the moment that Neymar made his decision to leave was after the PSG. Do you remember that crazy Champions League tie last season where Barca came back from the dead, and Neymar was just, he was out of this world. He pretty much single-handedly dragged Barca through. And at the end of the game, he looks around and he's there shattered, and the whole team are around Messi and they have him lifted up in the air, and that's the photograph that did the rounds afterwards.
Right.
So he was going to say, like, despite everything that he had done to drag them over the line, it was still Messi that was getting the credit, and he was still under his shadow. So look, it might be a bit of adding too much together, but I'd imagine it is a little bit of the factor in his decision to do so. And plus, look, Paris isn't a bad city to move to, is it?
No, the money is phenomenal. I'm just cutting in there before Matt does. But the money is phenomenal, you know. But if we look, we know Neymar is done now as of tonight. Coutinho, we've all had our say in it, but does this have a knock-on effect? Like, can anyone see big transfers just kind of literally going and going? There's just going to be one after the other now. Like Griezmann is being mentioned, but I think he's kind of nailed his colours to the Atletico match.
To be fair, most transfers happen in the last 10 days of the window anyway, but I think Barcelona go for Mbappe and it doesn't affect the Premiership. That's what I think. I think it just cuts us out this season. And because usually it does domino, like Bale or something, it dominoes to us. I don't think it does come this way this season. It's just the usual wait till the last 10 days, which is fucking annoying. But it's what's going to happen, I reckon.
It's always interesting to see who loses as well, because there's always one club that loses, because as it gets closer and closer to that deadline and there's a club pushing to try and replace their player, and suddenly everyone goes, there's no chance, we're never going to find a replation now, we're not letting them go.
It'll be so much shit like Crystal Palace or fucking Stoke or something shit like that.
That'll be fine. I don't mind that.
Could
miss out on Sacco?
You see Mbappe, you're saying Mbappe, and it's a fair shout, because with that sort of money they have now, they can go for anyone they really want. You could probably sign Neymar back. But could they literally go in for Mbappe and twofold? One, the player, he's a phenomenal talent, and two, he's being Real Madrid linked. You know, everyone just seems to accept that he's Real Madrid. So to offset losing Neymar, do they come and say, right, look, he's meant to be going to Real Madrid, he's the hottest property around, we're going to do this now to trump Real Madrid and appease our fans? Does anyone think that might be the thinking behind it?
Yeah, I think that could be a clever idea.
Absolutely.
They have to. Like, today must have been a scene. You remember that scene out of Breaking Bad where Walter goes to his shed and he shows his wife the big stash of money, and it's about like 3 or 4 foot high of money by maybe about 6 foot square, and they just fall back and lie back into it like a mattress. That must have been the Barcelona boys today, and they're probably going to try and wheel a bit of that over to Monaco there and say, here lads, throw us that little striker of yours.
Well,
who's the son then?
Because
who's the son?
Because he bought his own contract out. It wasn't PSG who bid for him, and so there's no installments or any of this shit. His lawyers went to La Liga and bought his own contract out, so it is all upfront, every single last bit of it.
Clever.
That's great.
So they've got this money. Yeah, to do whatever the fuck they want with. It's not like wait a few years. It's there, like.
I've got a soft spot for Barca, but I have to be honest. The fact
I love Barca.
The fact that Barca and Real are getting in trouble with the tax man, they're getting in trouble with the court, and now Barca are pissing and moaning that PSG are breaching financial fair play. I mean, Jesus, that's like us complaining that someone's tapping up our players. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous.
There is a bit of irony to it, isn't it? Watching Barca getting bullied in the transfer market. Because I only heard the other day that Barcelona will go on, if you don't get Coutinho now, they'll go on a 12-month kind of PR attack to get Coutinho next season.
I was wondering what you were going to say there. It's like 12-month hunger strike because they didn't get Coutinho.
No, Jesus, no. Like,
they do it all the time, don't they? They get the players to come out.
Like it's not going to be like 12 Bobby Sands, like fucking. It's not like that, But no, it's They look like they're going to go on this kind of PR assault for 12 months and literally line Coutinho up, and they do it with loads of players. They've done it like Suarez. They did it with
Fabregas.
Fabregas was the most blatant of them all, I thought.
Yeah.
That'd be years.
Coming out going, I'd love to play with this guy.
Yeah, and then they bid about £5 for him, and then they just went, that's not opening, that kind of way. But watching them being, but I think Griezmann's head could be turned. There's plenty of players out there. I think you might see
by Barca.
Yeah. I genuinely
It's gonna
do.
be a
Yeah.
big move.
Oof.
Yeah, I genuinely
Don't know
do.
about that.
I think Alexis Sanchez comes into this. Now, I'm not saying directly with Barca. I just think whoever goes to a certain place, it'll have a domino effect. I think Alexis Sanchez, apparently he's back at Arsenal and he's trying to push a move to City. But I think it's a domino effect. I think you're going to see all hell break loose now for the next 20, 30 days or whatever it is now.
Hopefully, yeah.
That'll be fun. Do you know what? I'm gonna nail this now. Van Dijk joins with him the next month. Neymar's obviously gone. Coutinho stays exactly where he is. That's what I reckon.
You're predicting Neymar going?
Oh, yeah, I am, mate. Yeah, I'm going to call it.
Oh, big shot.
Balls on the line now.
That's real ITK stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know I'll see your Neymar.
Stud will get injured before Christmas.
It's gonna rain, folks.
Klein's going to mess up a few crosses.
Mignolet drop a few clangers. Oh,
is that risk takers? For fuck's sake.
I reckon we're getting Van Dijk. I'm fairly confident on that one. I reckon Coutinho stays. My worry more than anything is Emery and this fucking contract that was meant to be signed. It's these ICK fucking knobheads giving out false information all the time. No.
Yeah, that Grizz fella.
He's a prick, man. Fucking prick. I really want him to sign that contract. That's one of my big things. But I'm not taking that as being part of a good transfer window or a bad one. That should just be fucking done. Do you know what I mean?
Business. That's not
you see these polls. If we keep Coutinho and Chan signs, fuck them out there. Fucking the transfer window. They should be up and staying with us anyway.
You know what's happening with that, don't you?
It's a PR.
About 10 days time, the PR machine will go. They're like 2 new signings. It's like
if we don't get Kaiser though, I want someone else, whoever's second on that list, or as I've said from the beginning, I want a solid left back. But actually, I said that before Moreno played half the game really well.
Did you see it?
He what?
He played a world. He did the other night. Did you not see?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
I think he's the Sevilla jersey on, didn't he?
If we're not getting Kaiser, then I want money spent elsewhere. Winger, striker, something else. We've got it apparently. We did bid for him, didn't we? So we know it's there. If we don't get him, I want another signing. Like, we'll have a list. We've got a list.
I don't know if he's agreed with me, but you see, this kite of stuff is meant to be dead in the water, right? No, you will in a minute. Just give it time. I don't know why he's saying no. He's agreed with everything I fucking said tonight.
Got no choice. The host is just fucking talking all night.
No, come here and I ask you this one, right? Keita is supposedly not for sale. And every single day there's a quote from Leipzig about Keita. So if he's not for sale, what are they talking about? Why are they talking? Yeah, and to me, that tells me that they're trying to claw Liverpool back into this conversation because they have got a number, like we've said a few times. And if they have that number, they're trying to get to that number and they're trying to get Liverpool to that number. I think that Keita deal is well on. And I think Van Dijk... Yeah, I do. And I think the Van Dijk one is well on. It just... We have to pick what big week we're going to sign him in because every week is a big week. So we just have to work out which big week we want.
There'll be nothing better than Virgil leaning tonight after Peter Moore's tweets, sending fucking half of Twitter into a meltdown.
Yeah, I can't win that because I get too upset. It's just absurd. It gets more bizarre.
Such a poor reflection of our fan base. Twitter is at the best of times.
I don't know why I do it to himself, but I'm obsessed with them. I fucking love them.
Who, Peter Moore?
Every single negative twat on there. I love engaging with them. I don't know why. It's just fucking boss.
That's the 43-degree heat. That's he's just gone clearly. But look, we move on to the transfers and stuff like that. And I wanted to ask you, there was a lot of European football on last night. We're down to 5 possible opponents for Europe. They are Nice, they're Hoffenheim, Steaua Bucharest, Young Boys of Bern, I think it is, in Switzerland, am I right? Yeah. And there's another team has Istanbul in his name, so they're from Istanbul. Phil, if you're to pick one of them, and it's kind of hard to pick, I think, which one would you prefer?
Hoffenheim, all day long.
Yeah.
Klopp knows their German mentality inside out and back to front, as demonstrated against Bayern. Okay, it's a pre-season game, but with the turnaround against but turning around against Borussia Dortmund is probably one of the most memorable occasions. But I have we're a good side anyway. We know what we're doing. I have a feeling that if we pulled Hoffenheim, it'd be an easier ride through than some of the others.
Yeah, fair. It's not one I would have picked, but look, it's your opinion and fair play, and you might have a point. He does know the mentality and how they play. Jonathan, who are you going for if you had to pick one?
I'm not going to lie. There's a couple of teams there that I hardly recognise their names. Never mind. No. Their footballing ability. Look, any of those teams we have to be beaten away back at Anfield. I genuinely don't fear any of them. I think we've proven in pre-season, and I think we've enough in the tank to beat any of those teams over two legs. Bear in mind, the team to come to Anfield. I know I'm going to sound, old cliche and all that, but under lights at Anfield, I just don't fear any of those teams.
No, yeah. Again, fair point. And I asked you to pick a team and you refused to. But look,
if you want me to pick a team, I'll put back in there. If you want to pick a team, it'd be nice to get nice, wouldn't it?
Nice to be nice. Right, okay. No, I don't agree with you. Matt, who are you going for, Matt?
Did you say there's only 5 teams we can draw?
Yeah, Nice, Hoffenheim, Steaua Bucharest.
Why?
Why? Because that's the fucking rules.
Nobody's loads in the last, isn't there?
Yeah, no, the possible opponents these are the 5 unseeded teams. In our side of the group. I was asking this earlier because I seen Celtic are seeded with 5 different teams. And I can't work out. It's obviously something to do with if you're seeded, having not won a league, and seeded after winning a league like Celtic are. But look, we're down to 5. Nice, right. Hoffenheim, Steaua, Young Boys of Bern, and blah, 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 Istanbul.
Young Boys, are they Switzerland?
Yeah. They are, yeah. And they play on a plastic pitch. I'd just like to tell you that before you go on.
No, then I don't give a fuck who our opponents are this season. So whoever's closer, whoever's the shortest trip.
See, that's another reason Germany was in there, to be honest. Because I'm thinking Istanbul and Steaua Bucharest are 3.5, 4 hours flight away.
Istanbul's quite far. Yeah, that's far, isn't it? So what we got? Hoffenheim on Nice. Nice, I'll take Nice. Nice wine.
They're taking Nice.
Yeah, in and out. And with John.
See, I'm paranoid, and I'm just thinking Balotelli turns up and has 180 minutes of his fucking life. And
well, if you don't want Nice, I definitely want it.
Van Dijk will keep him up and down the place.
He's pulling fucking rockets out of his sock and setting them on fire and everything after he scores.
Fuck that. Van Dijk is fucking booting him into the stand, mate.
Van Dijk.
Moreno will have him. Moreno will have him in his back pocket.
Yeah. No,
he'll whack him across the head with his hoverboard.
If I was to pick one, it's Steaua Bucharest. I think if we go away to Bucharest in the first leg, I think they'll fancy themselves and come on to us, and I think we'll rip them asunder. And then we go back to Anfield and beat them 3 or 4-0, and it's all fucking great. And Young Boys, it's a plastic pitch. I just think of Luton Town and QPR from the late 80s, early 90s. So they're not having it. And Hoffenheim might be a decent point because they flew, didn't they, last season with a manager that was about 21.
You just listing all the fucking teams here, like Grizz.
I'm doing my quiz. Yeah, I'm doing my quiz.
You're listing 7 and we can only play 5.
I'm going with Steaua. I'm definitely going with Steaua. It's a pick one. There's too many circumstances around the others. Istanbul team, I haven't got a clue. I just know they finished second in Turkey last season. So yeah, they finished second. Yeah, so Steaua would be my pick. But look, we'll find out on tomorrow, Friday at 11. I think the draw 11. Yeah, okay. So we'll see what we get. And as when Jonathan avoided the question completely and said we should be beating any of them, he was probably right. So I'm sorry, Jonathan. All right, but I'm not apologizing to Matt. He's a prick.
See, you're not nice.
No, he's just not a nice person. But Saturday we're all going out on the beer. Well, a few of us are, and Liverpool come to the Aviva, and we play Athletic Club of Bilbao. I think, is that the right way to say it?
Let's go with it.
Yeah. No, I heard it the other night, and it sounded really impressive. Matt, do we expect to see a team fairly close to the Watford team? And just to say, I actually am siding with you now after this couple of Munich games, and I would definitely start Can ahead of Henderson on current form.
Thank you very much, my friend. It was never in doubt. I think we see the team that play Watford. Maybe the only thing we'd see something like Gomez 1 half, Trent the second, Moreno 1 half, Robertson the second, and let them fight it out for a place. But other than that, it's going to be the keeper. I don't know which one. I like Karius. I think he's doing well. I'm happy with Mignolet as well. It's going to be the keeper. It's going to be centre backs. The midfield three is going to be the midfield three, and strikers. We know exactly what's going on there. There's no question about it. So other than a couple of battles, which is fucking good because we haven't had that for a long time. Other than a couple of battles, I think it's going to be the team, and I'm looking forward to seeing that fucking attack again. I'm going to get my tissues out ready. I'm going to go downstairs, buy a 12-pack of fucking cush out rolls, get him lined up.
Just get in the bat and load of ice because God knows what temperature it'll be over there. But can I ask you, Matt, something just that popped into my head when you asked them? Well, I'm going to ask you anyway. Mignolet, has Mignolet played like
football?
My head, no, in my head, he's played about 45 minutes between the Asia tournament and the Audi Cup. Am I right in thinking that?
I think so, yeah. Who played last night? It was boring.
Well, Ward played last night.
Did Mignolet come on half time at all, though?
No. Karius played the first game. Ward played the second game, right?
And then if you look at clean sheet against Bayern Munich, you mean? Sad.
Yeah. So, and then if you go back to the Asia tournament, I think Mignolet might have played against Leicester. No, he didn't. He played against Palace.
He definitely played one because I was impressed with him coming out for the ball. Yeah, I remember that.
He that was against Leicester, okay? No, not Leicester. Fucking Leicester. Why do I keep saying Leicester? Palace. And then the final against Leicester, I think it was Karius. So to me, he's played in 4 games. He's played one of them.
Maybe. Well, if anyone thinks Jurgen Klopp brought Karius not to be his number one, then you're idiots. He's a very, very good keeper, and we jumped on him far too early. Keeper, he's a young keeper fuck that. He's a young boy in a new country, away from his family. They come over as much as they can, but he's away from his family, and he's learning a new trade, new club. He was never going to settle straight away. It doesn't fucking happen, especially with keepers in a new league, which is pretty rough compared to the German league he's used to. But you got to remember, when he came over, he was the second best keeper in Germany, and he would have been the first if it wasn't for Manuel Neuer. He's a fucking excellent keeper, and we need to give him a chance. And I think Klopp knows that. And Klopp, whether it's this season or in the future, he still wants him as number one. That's why
I agree with that.
I agree.
No, I'd agree as well. It just came into my head today. I thought, I've seen very little of Mignolet. Now, maybe he's just kind of going, he's my number one, and let the other lads have a game.
But we've seen the best of Mignolet, I think. I think we've seen the best of Mignolet. We haven't seen the best of Karius yet.
No, absolutely.
I'm not going to say he's playing out this well, because I know he's not. But I know you can tell it's a confidence thing, because you can still see there's a good keeper there. It's just he's got to improve his crossing, his catching and his punching. He's got to be a bit more commanding. But with how high we're going to play, he is on the edge of his fucking box. Anything comes over the top, he's a sweeper, and that's exactly what we need.
When we have a corner, I think he's on the edge of their box.
He is. He's fucking mentalist on corners and crosses.
He's great. His hair is gorgeous.
If Mignolet can improve, then why can't fucking Karius? People have given him the benefit of doubt.
I've said this loads of times. My problem with Mignolet is when you make him number one and you tell him he's number one starting the season on the 12th of August. For the first 10 games of the season, you're just waiting for this fucking absolute breakdown. And if you can get through that, he may prove people wrong, but I'd still give it 10 games. But Phil, Matt has more or less not named the team, but he's kind of picked out a couple of positions where there might be a bit of argument over who might play. Would you agree, or do you think the team is set in stone for the opening day of the season and Dublin at the weekend?
No, I agree, to be honest. I think it's going to be the same team that we'll see against Watford that will start this weekend. I think Matt's right. I think the front four are pretty much nailed on. Although I would say, honourable mention to Kent, actually. He's really impressed me in the pre-season. And I think he'll be a half decent sub coming off the bench. And do you know what? He has impressed me. I've got to be honest. When you look at some of the fringe players that in most of the pre-season, I mean, one of them, Jesus, I mean, he's gone now, but every year I'd look at Kev Stewart and go, "Are you still fucking here?" I just could not understand why that lad was getting a game, and that's why he didn't get a game during the season, I guess. But no, Kent for me has done fantastic. He's done a cracking job. I'm glad he's on our bench. I don't particularly want to load him out unless we bring somebody in that's going to give him some serious competition, because there will be injuries throughout the season, no doubt. But no, I agree. I think there's a couple of places up for grabs: left back, right back, and possibly even goalkeeper at the minute. And until the Van Dijk comes in, I think centre back is going to be interesting as well, because we'll have to put up with Clavan being Clavan and see what mood Lovren's in. And but no, I think we'll see a strong lineup this weekend. I think we'll see plenty of goals, and we'll probably see a few heart and mouth moments at the back.
Yeah, I can't agree. I can't disagree with most of that. I think you'll see the team that's going to play, and it, like between you lads have said, it picks itself nearly. Jonathan, when it comes to this team, is there any surprises for you? Like Phil has mentioned Kent. I'm a massive fan of Ryan Kent. I think he should be, along with Sturridge, I think he should be the first sub in an attacking kind of mould for the team. That's how highly I rate him. And especially when he goes and he does that to Rafinha, who's a little prick as well.
Send him to the shops. No, and for me, what was most pleasing watching Kent was last night when he came on. He played on the right as an inverted winger. That to me strikes home that Klopp is actually taking him seriously, because if you look at our setup at the moment, it's Manny on the left as a right footer, Salah on the right as a left footer, and then Bobby in the middle. So you have your two wingers cutting inside straight away. So for me to see Kent in a similar role shows that to me that Klopp is taking him seriously here, and that he's very close to first team action. I've always liked the look of him. He oodles class, and he just has that bit of swagger on him. It's simple things that they're picking the ball up, whipping in corners and stuff like that. He doesn't seem out of depth, and as you said, to take a step over like that and against one of the best right backs in Europe, to do that and have the balls to do that, like, it just shows, really, really excited for him.
He's
you mentioned
he tricks teams, doesn't he? Do you notice how he tricks teams with his corners?
He's not afraid.
Yeah.
That's what I love about him. He's not afraid to turn his man and run at him. That's what I like about him.
Didn't he take his pen over with his right foot?
Yeah, but watch. That's what I'm going to come to. Watch him when he's taking a corner, right?
Yeah.
He sets up as if he's going to hit a right-footed corner. Okay.
Yeah.
And when he sets up, he just actually walks back around the corner flag and hits a left foot.
Yeah.
So teams are actually waiting for this outswinger, and it comes in swinging. He's actually, to me, looks really, really naturally both-footed. But like, you have Sturridge there, you have Origi there. Ings hasn't been seen. I don't think Ings plays. I think Ings goes, whether it's a loan or a move now at this stage. There's too much pre-season gone for him not to be doing anything. I'd love to see Kent be, if it's Sturridge and Origi or Sturridge and Kent on the bench, or, I'd love to see him on the bench. I think he can have a big impact. But look, lads, stop me I'm going to pick a team, and if you think I'm wrong, stop me, right? So I'm going to go Mignolet.
Wrong.
I'm going to go wrong. You're going Karius, right? So we have Trent at right back.
Yeah.
We all happy with that? Yeah, I think because of Klein's injury. I think we're going to start with Matip, Lovren.
Yeah.
I think he starts Milner, but if anyone wants to jump in,
he starts Milner.
I think Milner I think Milner was really, really poor last night. Really,
I think he was shite, but the whole team was. But he was shite. No, I don't. I think he starts Robertson.
Do you think Robertson? Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering whether he starts Moreno after his performance the other game. So we agree on that one.
Yeah. The midfield one is the difficult one. Do you pick what you think, or do you pick what you think Klopp might do? If it was me, I'd go Shan, Lallana, Coutinho.
The only thing with Shan is late coming to the pre-season.
Yeah.
So fitness-wise, I think it's Hendo,
I think it's Hendel. It could end up being Henderson, Lallana, Coutinho. But I think Wijnaldum has been really impressive though.
He has,
in
yeah.
the season. Really,
and it says
really
something
impressive.
as well when our captain's getting a game because other players are not fully fit.
Yeah, and then you look, we're not even. You know what the front three is: Salah, Mane, and Firmino. But it's an exciting team. It should be a good week, good game in Dublin. We've lots planned for it. As we've said before, young Abby, that is going to be the mascot on the day. We're going to give her an interview before the game because she's the star of the show for us. So she's going to have her interview before. We're going to be meeting people coming down Lansdowne Road, having a little word with them, maybe around, I don't know, the 3:00, 3:30 mark. But we'll get a few people involved. We'll have plenty of content around the game. I think there's a live podcast in Jonathan's house after the game. Once we go and buy cans and get to Jonathan's house, but there should be a live podcast there, and then we're really into the countdown for the new season. Lads, that was a cracking. I had a great time with that. Really, really good. Matt, Phil, and Jonathan, I'd like to thank you all for joining me tonight. I've been your host, Gav. ARW will be back next week. Up the Reds.